also which are fearful. Now, people are fearful about losing their job. People are fearful because the way they used to live, that particular process has been disrupted. They are fearful because businesses are fearful because they're not sure how the things will be, how the scenario will unfold, especially after the second wave and the third wave were looming basically. So there is a lot of fear today, a lot of fear across, and mostly after the kind of trauma, the kind of losses we have gone through after uh, the second wave of COVID. Fear is something which is spread almost across. Everyone is fearful, but is that fear is only in the pandemic? No. Even before pandemic, most of the people used to live with fear almost in their entire life. Actually, the fear basically came to us in a primitive form when the evolution was happening, and it was basically given to us, or it was basically uh, created because we needed to save ourselves from from attacks. We needed to be alive. So the fear used to give us fight or flight responses. And over a period, as human being kept on evolving, even the fears have kept on evolving. Today, if you see, before evolution, the fear was only for survival. Now the fear is of loss, fear is of failure, fear is of rejection, fear is of what people will say, fear is of losing a relationship or being ridiculed or looking foolish. So as we have been evolved, even fear has evolved. Fear of death, fear of public speaking, a lot of things. So fear has also evolved, has taken many forms, in fact. So what a pity. The form, the fear which was with us to save our life is now one of the most disruptive force of our life, which helps or which prevents us basically to reach to our potential, to live the fulfilling life, to live a significant life, to live a life probably we dream for. And why did this fear comes basically? But before that, no, I keep on reading a lot of articles, a lot of books, go through a lot of videos on the fear. And believe me, in internet is full of content which we can use basically to overcome our fear. But why that is not happening? Probably, there is no dearth of knowledge today. It is dearth of application. And the second thing, what I believe and I very strongly believe is that every human being is unique, and hence his thought process. So if you are unique, your thought process is unique. So what has worked for me might not work for you. And I cannot be very sure when I'm recommending to you because see, this is a process which has worked for me and it will work for you also. नहीं होता है ये बस जिस तरह से हम सोचते हैं वो एक बहुत ही डिफरेंट वेवलेंथ होता है जिस तरह से आप सोच रहे हो या जिस तरह से मैं सोचता हूँ आप सोचते हो वो बहुत ही डिफरेंट वेवलेंथ होगा बहुत ही डिफरेंट वे ऑफ थिंकिंग होगा and hence those contents which are there on internet they are great content for sure. In fact, I was going through a video of Sri Sadguru and he was talking ki we live in fear because we don't live in reality. And fear is basically a figment of imagination. Uh, agree to a certain extent. But if I don't have a caliber of Sadguru and if I'm not as wise as Sadguru ji is, then probably that line will not help me. The reason is that we all know fear is there, fear is natural, and fear is as real an emotion as we have other emotions like happiness, sadness, any emotion you take it, anger. So in case if we ignore ki there is nothing like fear, we will not be able to overcome it. So To overcome it, let us first understand and accept that fear is real. So it is no figment of imagination. Yeah, reason of fears might be imaginary. I mean, we can discuss on that. But fear itself is imaginary. I mean, let us drop that idea. If if we want to overcome our fear, or you can also overcome the fear with the idea of what Sadhguruji has said. But the problem is, are we at that level? If we would have been at that level, probably, I mean, the fear would have never affected us also. So when we take fear is real, and no, we need to overcome it. And believe me, fear can be your best friend if you are able to see it from a proper perspective, or you are able to take it to a proper perspective. You are able to handle it from a proper perspective. Uh, why basically fear comes? No, fear basically indicates because you have to take this action. For example, if you are sitting in a conference and you have certain question in your mind, and suddenly the fear comes कि बस अगर ये क्वेश्चन पूछोगे ना तो लोग तुम्हारा मजाक उड़ाएंगे, तो आप क्या करोगे? बैठ जाओगे. Actually, we should go and ask. We should go and ask that question, and that is the only way we can overcome the fear. But before going to how to overcome the fear, in fact, what I believe a lot of reasons why basically fear happens is first is our the way we have grown, the kind of association we have, the kind of mindset we have, the kind of life experiences we had. Then yeah, probably we might have committed some unethical deeds. So a lot of reasons might be there. And if we have to overcome the fear, the first is we need to know and get into the real source why we are fearful. What mostly we fear from. See, everyone's dominant fear might be very different. So you need to find out what your dominant fear is. No. Once you have found out this is my dominant fear, then we can go and address it. So when we have to address, when you have to make fear our friend so that it can guide us to higher success, we have to accept some facts about fear. First fact is that fear, no, it is not only we or me or you who is fearful. A fear lies with everyone. In fact, if you go to Mahabharata, Karna has said कि no, मेरा डर मुझे जागरूक रखता है. So हर कोई डरता है, but it is, I mean, ठीक है. So everyone is fearful, everyone fears. The second is कि no, fear is not something which can basically stop you. It is all your state of mind. And to overcome the fear, we need to take the action. Action is the only way through which we can overcome the fear. Otherwise, overcoming fear itself is very difficult if you don't take action. Action is the real, basically, fear buster. And then, once we take the action and we overcome our fear, we basically increase our self-image. We basically grow ourselves. So once we have overcome a fear, it never leaves us the same. It makes us a different person. It gives us a different kind of knowledge. It enhances our self-image and self-confidence. And after realizing these facts, fear, I mean, only we are not fearful. Fear is something which happens with everyone. The only way to get rid of fear is to take action. Fear always shows us the path basically which we need to walk to succeed. Then the third thing we should do is we should stop blaming anyone for the results we are having in life, and we should stop blaming ourselves as well. Why? Yeah, because the moment we start blaming ourselves, we get into guilt mode. Whereas what we should do is we should say you have fear of failure. Now you should go and find out because अगर मैं fail हुआ हूँ तो what are the reasons? You reflect, find the reason, get the skills or work on the problems basically which you need to resolve, and then get into to the game. That is the only way you can overcome the fear. Because if you get into a fear cycle, then you will never be able to overcome with your fear. Then always keep the bigger picture of your future in your mind. I mean, bigger picture of life, whatever you want to dream of, whatever is your burning desire, keep that in mind. Then always make the right choices. Believe, I mean, as we all know, the choices we make today, those choices will define us how we'll be tomorrow. And if we don't make any choice, anyway, we are making a choice of not making any choice. That is even more dangerous. So always try to make right choice. Don't take shortcuts. There are no free lunches in the world. Never, never, never take shortcut. My mentor always says, define your goal, find out your role, then be ready to pay the toll and get into action. So till you are ready to pay the toll, you will never be successful. You will always be fearful in your life. So be ready to pay the toll. Then don't get involved in unethical deed, however lucrative it is. Because when you have this unethical deed, then I mean you would always be in the fear कि यार पकड़ लेंगे, मैं पकड़ा जाऊंगा. Okay, and then we should never ever condemn, criticize anyone. Never ever ever. Because in our life we never know when we need people to accomplish our task. And as John C. Maxwell says, कि one is too small a number to accomplish anything great. So we should not get into condemning or criticizing anyone. So because no, if the person comes to know about it, we will lose our credibility. We'll never be able to work with him. We will never be able to form a team, and you never know whom you need. And then have an investment mindset, because going with all the theories, going with all the content probably may not resolve your fear. Probably will not. The reason is कि our mindset, our thought process, our mind conditioning is very different. So have some investment. Mindset. Invest in a coach. Invest in a mentor who can help you to overcome the fear. The only difference between coach and mentor is the mentor is someone who has been there and done that. Okay, so he can show you the path. Whereas a coach is someone who can help you to find the answers from your within. Why you are fearful, what you can do to find the steps or take the steps basically to overcome the fear. And then always choose your words very cautiously. The way you talk to yourself, the way you talk to others. Never, never talk in negative. अगर say for example you have to do a task, so never say I can't or can't can I. The question should be how can I. या आपको ये है कि मैं ये करूं या ये करूं, ठीक है, both are important, then how can I do the both? Start finding the solution rather than focusing on the problem. And one more thing which has become pretty important in today's scenario is we should focus on the problem in front of us. We should not focus I mean, we should work on the problem in front of us. We should focus on the solution, and we have to take away the fact from the problem. See, today Corona is there, that is a fact. And will Corona go away? I don't think so. It will become a way of our life. We have to live with it. Probably for how many years? No one knows. So we have to be flexible. We have to take the actions which can prevent us from Corona. A lot of my friends, in fact, when I talk to them, they basically get very negative about the vaccination. No, I only ask them a question: do you have any better solution? If not vaccination, then what else? And if you don't feel like your vaccination is good or vaccines are good, keep it to you. Don't go and spoil someone else's life also with that. Okay, so a lot of confusion keeps on happening in our life, and believe me, what works for me will not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. So we have to find out our problem. We have to find out our reasons, and then we have to work on to overcome that. Yes, you can always take help of coach, help of mentor, There is humongous knowledge available on the internet. In fact, I'll post a few of the links which I've gone recently from Sadhguru or from Brendan or from Tony Robbins. And then I know there's a book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And in fact, this is a fabulous book. This will help you to overcome a lot of your fear because fear mostly comes from conditioning of our mind. And this book basically help us to overcome the fear. So I'll give you the Amazon link also. You- Uh, Amazon link also in the comments so that you can basically go and purchase that book and go through it if you are suffering from fear syndrome. And you know, as my coach says, कि क्या कहेंगे लोग दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग so LKK is one fear which all of us should work to overcome and probably majority of us suffer from that fear कि लोग क्या कहेंगे. So that was all for today, and I hope you will find out your core fear, why you are fearful, what you can do to overcome your fear, how you can make your fear your best friends. And believe me, once you are able to make your fear your best friend, sky's the limit for your rise. You'd be able, you will be able to achieve your potential. You'll be able to live the life you want to live. So that was all for today. We will again meet tomorrow with the learning of a peak impact mentorship session, which is going to be held today at 9 p.m. So I'll share whatever I would have learned from my mentor in that session. Thank you. Thanks a lot.